The city pulsed like a machine, cold, loud, fast. Its rhythms ignored the forgotten, the silent, the unseen. But just behind a luxury restaurant with a rooftop garden and a wine list longer than most resumes, a girl Saturday 10 years old. Barefoot. Dirt on her cheeks like war paint, and hunger in her belly like fire. Her name was Clara. She had nothing. Not even a name most people remembered. But she had eyes that watched everything. And a memory that never forgot a kindness. It was Sunday. The restaurant's brunch rush was thinning. Clara waited. She knew the routine. Wealthy diners ordered too much. Plates returned half full. She waited until a server pushed a bin full of half-eaten meals out the back, but today, something changed. A tall man in a dark suit exited through the side door, holding his phone like a sword. His voice was cold, clipped. Sell it. If it tanks, we'll pivot. That's the model. Don't waste my time. He passed Clara without seeing her, but his plate didn't. He left it behind. Prime rib, potatoes, untouched asparagus. Clara's stomach tightened. She took one step toward the bin, then paused. The man returned. She froze. He was reaching for something on the table. His phone. Their eyes met. Clara looked at the plate, then back at him. Can I eat your leftovers? Silence. It wasn't just a question. It was a confession. Of hunger. Of humiliation. Of how low the world had pressed her. The man blinked. For a moment, something shifted in his face. The lines of wealth and indifference softened. Barely, then he nodded and walked away. Clara didn't say thank you. She was already eating. The man was Elliot Reed. Tech billionaire. Fortune built on code and buyouts. Heart built on silence. He hadn't spoken to his sister in 5 years. He hadn't cried in 20. And he hadn't eaten leftovers since college, but something about the girl haunted him. He returned the next day. She was there. He didn't speak. Just left a boxed meal on the bench and walked inside. She waited until he was gone, then ate for a week. This happened, always the same bench. Always the same silence, until one morning, Clara was gone. Elliot frowned. Irritated, almost. That evening, he checked the back alley camera. Asked a staff member what happened. She got chased off, the man said. Some security guy thought she was trouble. Elliot said nothing, but the next day, he sat on the bench and waited. When Clara appeared from behind a dumpster, eyes wary, he said simply, I saved you something. They sat in silence, the box between them. Why are you being nice? She asked. He didn't answer. You don't look like someone who sees people like me. He raised an eyebrow. What do people like me look like? Clean shoes. He laughed. It was the first time in months they talked. He asked her name. She lied at first. Then told the truth. She asked if he owned the building. I own the block. That's stupid, she said. Nobody needs that much. He didn't disagree. Over weeks, Elliot learned her story. A brother named Leo. 16. Protective. Working odd jobs, sleeping rough. A mother who died of an overdose. A system that failed them. Again and again. You ever try shelters? He asked. We did. They split us up. Leo wouldn't leave me. So we left. Elliot's throat tightened. He remembered his own childhood. Not the money. Before that. A different kind of silence. A bruise on his mother's arm. A basement room with no windows. He'd buried those memories, but Clara had dug them up with a single question. He brought food. Then clothes. Then a prepaid phone. She called only once. To say thank you. He didn't know what to do with that. Elliot started asking questions. His assistant raised an eyebrow. You want background on a 10-year-old homeless girl? Just do it. What? He found made him sick. Multiple CPS reports. No follow-ups. Leo had been arrested once for stealing food. The charges stuck. Now, no shelter would take him. You said the system works, Clara whispered one night. I never said that. Then fix it. He looked at her and didn't look away. He made calls. Hit dead ends. He offered money. It helped some. Not enough. Leo was too old for foster care. Clara too Young to stay with him legally, any official help would tear them apart. So Elliot broke the rules. He bought a building, moved Clara and Leo in. No paperwork. No press. No questions, just locks, warmth, and full meals. Leo didn't trust him, but Clara did, and slowly, that was enough. Elliot never planned to care this much, but some people enter your life like stray sparks, and suddenly, everything you thought was fire turns out to be smoke. Clara was the spark, Leo was the reminder. Together, they lit something inside him he hadn't felt in decades. The apartment wasn't lavish. 1 bedroom. Tiny kitchen, but it was safe. Warm, and the first space Clara had ever called her own. The first night, she cried quietly under the blankets, not because she was scared, because for once she wasn't. Leo sat near the door, arms folded. Guarding the silence, Elliot kept his name off the lease. No strings. No rules, just one request: let her sleep. Let her grow. Leo nodded. Didn't say thank you. But he meant it. Time passed. Clara started school. A real one. Her first day, she wore the shoes Elliot bought her, not expensive. Just clean. When asked what she wanted to be, she said, someone who makes sure no kid ever has to ask for leftovers again. Elliot watched from a distance. He began to change. Meetings felt different, profit margins looked emptier. He sat in a boardroom one morning while executives debated a buyout worth billions. He stared out the window and wondered if Clara had eaten breakfast. He hired a lawyer, not for business, for the broken system. He wanted to know why kids like Clara and Leo slipped through every net. The answers came slowly: overcrowded shelters, underfunded agencies. A policy web so tangled most kids just fell straight through. So he did what he was best at. He built something from scratch, the Leftovers Foundation. What began as a single apartment turned into 20.20 turned into a school partnership, then a scholarship program, then emergency legal aid. No press. No cameras, just names, kids with names. With lives. With hope, Clara grew. She joined student council, ran food drives, spoke at City Hall. Her voice was calm, focused, full of lived truth. Every meal we waste is a message to someone like me: you don't matter. We throw out more than we feed. That's not just waste. That's cruelty. They listened, because she didn't ask for sympathy, she asked for action. Leo got his GED. Didn't want a spotlight, just a shot. A warehouse job turned into a supervisor role. He stopped flinching when people said his name. He started mentoring teens like he used to be. Didn't preach. He just showed up. Sometimes, that's louder than a sermon. At the 5-year mark, they held a dinner, not a gala. A potluck. Everyone brought what they had. Leo brought tamales from a recipe his mom once taught him. Clara baked a lopsided cake with too much frosting. Elliot brought bread from a bakery down the street. He insisted he didn't bake it. No one believed him. They laughed. They remembered, and they read names, not donors. Not politicians, kids who made it, not to fame. Not to riches, just to safety. To enough. To tomorrow. Clara gave the toast. She stood with both hands on the table, like she was anchoring herself. I used to count leftovers like currency. Every crust meant I was a little less invisible, but now, I don't want anyone else to live like that. She looked around the room. At Leo. At Elliot. At the kids whose lives had become their own stories. We are not the ones who were saved. We are the ones who are saving. Elliot never planned to care this much, but sometimes life hands you someone else's hunger, and if you're brave enough to hold it, you start to feed more than stomachs. You feed futures, you feed revolutions made of ordinary kindness, you feed a world where leftovers mean no one is ever left behind. This isn't charity, this is justice, this is repair. We all have something left over. What matters is what we do with it.